Alright, so hi guys. So in today's video, I thought I would do a flip through of my Inktober sketchbook because I finally finished Inktober. Granted, it took me 2 weeks into November to finish it. I did finish it. Now, I did not finish it on time. I believe the last drawing I did in October was... I'm just going to show you for reference. Oh god, I'm kind of flipping through the whole thing right now. But, oh god, it wasn't this one. I think it was probably this one or this one. One of these two were the last drawings I did in October. Don't quote me on that. It'll probably be somewhere on my Instagram if you want to know the exact one. But yeah, I didn't finish it in October, but I did finish it. And I thought that if I finished it at all, that would get me in the good habit to finish it. And then next year I'd finish it. Because I thought if I stopped doing it right after October, instead of continuing, I wouldn't be in the good habit to finish it. I'd be like, oh, there are still 10 pages I didn't do. And then next year I'd have 10 pages I didn't do. But since I finished it, then next year I'd be able to finish it easier, if that makes sense. Even though I didn't finish in October. And so there's that. And yeah, but I only allowed myself 2 weeks in October because I wasn't going to go past 2 weeks. Not 2 weeks in October, 2 weeks in November. I wasn't going to go past 2 weeks in November, so if I didn't finish it this weekend, I would have just shown you what I had gotten done. Because it seems weird to me to continue on after 2 weeks in November. But yeah. Alright, so anyways, this is day 1. And for day 1, we have the prompt Swift. And I chose to do my OC Beatrice. And I illustrated her hair swiftly moving around for day 1. Because it's like flowing all over the place. Sorry if I go a little quickly. I've like talked about these a lot on my Instagram. So I kind of know what to say for each piece. Hopefully. Alright, so then this is day 2, and the prompt was divided, and it says, comics are stories divided into little panels. Oh god, my voice sounds very raspy. It's still early for me, and I haven't had anything to drink yet, so, And, yeah, this is just Olsen, and he's like, you have a back view of him, then he's like turning around, and then he's like screaming, I'm gay, because Olsen's gay. And I thought it was cute, I'd make that meme, even though Olsen doesn't really like that meme. I think that meme applies to Olsen, so. And then this is Inktober day 3, and it's poison kills, because the prompt was poison. And the idea here is that Gampson ate some poison, and like the poison's like ejecting out of his body. And he's like kind of throwing up the poison, and he's like dying as the poison ejects his body. I don't know why if the poison's leaving his body he'd be dying, but he's just like blowing out poison. He's like dying, dead. And then he's holding a little poison bottle. His eyes are X's. My friend Noodle Raymond really liked this piece. She said this was probably one of her favorite drawings of mine ever. And personally, I don't think it's one of my favorite drawings of mine ever, but she really liked it, so I'm really happy she really liked it. And then there was some bleed through, so I didn't do anything on this page. And then we have Inktober day 4, underwater. For this one, I chose to illustrate. This is the only drawing for Inktober I did of my new OC. Well, he's newer than the rest of my OCs. My newer OC, Dean, or Damon. I chose to illustrate Dean doing a mid-cannonball underwater, and you can kind of see he's like jumped into the pool, and he's like in mid-cannonball. And the reason the water is red is because Dean is a demon, so all the water in the demon realm, which is essentially hell, is red. So all the water where he lives is red. So it's like they're bathing in like blood water type thing, because they're like demons, demon realm, hell. Yeah, that's why. The only thing I don't like about this drawing is the way the legs are positioned, because if you look here, this is the end of the body. But if you look here, the legs are like coming out of here on the body. The legs should actually be coming out of here, but instead they're coming out of here, which looks really off and off-putting, and I don't like it. But I like everything else. I like the light. Like right here, you can see the light. I like how all this looks and everything, and just, I really like this one. I think it has a great light source, that one. This one, this is the only Inktober day I did a video for, and if you saw that video, you know that I absolutely, with all my heart, despise and loathe this artwork. It was for day 5, and the prompt was long, so I chose to illustrate Hannah's long hair flowing on the rug, but we're gonna look away. I don't really have anything to say that video hasn't already said. Some of these do have bleed through on them. If you look at this one, there's like bleed through from the other page. Some of them do have stuff like that on them, but that's okay. Because the pieces are uploaded on my Instagram before the bleed through happened to them. So if you want to see them without the bleed through, go to my Instagram, which I'll try and remember to put. I'll probably end up putting my Instagram in the description, so yeah. Because I usually can remember to put things in the description, but what I'm bad at doing is I'm bad at putting things in the little iCard, because that takes a little more effort, so then I forget to do that. Alright, so this is Inktober Day 6. The prompt was sword. And we have my OC Ben, and the reason why he has such skinny proportions is because he is borderline, or he is anorexic. He's anorexic, but not to an extreme point, just to a point. He's anorexic. And he's also the Demon Realm King, so he's in his like Demon Realm King outfit, and he's holding a flaming sword with earthly flames on it, because in my story I imagine that the demons can easily be killed with human realm flames, but with demon flames they're not killed. Like, demon flames don't affect them because different chemicals in the flames. So this is a very deadly weapon to the demons that can instantly kill a demon. Which is why the king is in possession of it rather than anyone else. And then we have Inktober Day 7, and it says, "Geesh, what a creep," because I have the headcanon that before Olsen told Nick that he loved him, Olsen would creepily stalk Nick in school, follow him around, always be right behind Nick whenever he looked around. And that's just like, he had like a creepy stalker. He was like a creepy love stalker. He literally stalked Nick, and he flat out admitted to his friends that he stalked Nick. And Nick didn't like it, but Nick, being the idiot he is, he was blind to realize that Olsen had a crush on him. He was like, no, Olsen would never crush on me. No, Olsen's not gay, no. Despite the fact that all of Nick's friends told him that that was probably the case. He didn't believe it, and Olsen was just a creepy little love stalker. And despite the fact that Nick was always really angry at Olsen for stalking him and being a little bastard, he kind of felt bad for Nick, because I think Nick kind of felt bad for Olsen, because I think Nick kind of thought Olsen was mentally deranged in the head and had a mental illness to be stalking him and shaking and everything all the time. And wouldn't you know it, a year later, Olsen actually gets panic attacks, so I guess Nick wasn't far off. Okay, jokes aside, that's not even funny. Alright, Day 8. So this is Day 8, and the prompt is crooked, and I chose, this is the only illustration. No, it's not the only illustration I did with Mike. I did 2 illustrations with Mike. Alright, so the prompt is crooked, and it says, "I deal a crooked hand." And it's just Mike, and he has like a deck of playing cards in his hand, and he's like dealing them out. Like, you know the expression, "play your cards wisely"? He plays his cards very crookedly, and he has like a crooked expression because he's like evil and crooked, and he always manipulates the situation so that he gets whatever he wants out of it, because that's just the type of guy he is. And he's good at it too, like he's skilled at that and doing that, to say the least. So this is Inktober Day 9, Screech. Originally I was going to draw somebody screaming really loudly, screeching, but instead I decided to illustrate my OC Sophia with a screech owl, which is kind of what everyone else was doing for this prompt. Almost everyone for this prompt was drawing a screech owl, so I went the stereotypical route for this one, because I thought I needed practice with animals, so I thought, why not? And in the background, there's like a silhouette of a screech owl as well. And the reason I chose to illustrate my OC Sophia with screech owls is because my OC Sophia actually has animal powers. She has the power to talk to animals and the power to shapeshift into animals. And animals generally take a liking to Sophia. So generally animals will like come up to her in the woods and like really like her. Kind of like how animals always come up to like Snow White or whatever. They're like that with Sophia. But I can't speak today because it's still early for me, because I woke up like just an hour or 2 ago. Despite the fact that it's like 11. And then this is Inktober Day 10, Gigantic. And for this one I chose to illustrate my OC Bridget, who is one of the twerts. And I chose to illustrate Bridget with her little sister, Faith. And Faith is just saying, "Yay, Sissy got us a gigantic pumpkin for carving." And then you have not Beatrice. You have Bridget, who is holding a pumpkin, which is pretty gigantic. Not the most gigantic, but gigantic in a sense. And they're walking home from the demon, and they're walking home on a night in the demon realm to carve the pumpkin for Halloween. I don't know. I cannot explain this photo properly. Alright, so then we have day 11, Run. This is the only one I did with my OC, Patricia. This is one of 3 drawings that I've actually done with my OC, Patricia. Patricia is supposed to be, she's supposed to be Zebby's friend, and Zebby is a character I ship with Nathan, who is one of the twerts. So yeah, she plays a minor role, but she actually is LGBTQ because she's transgender. And so I drew this for National Coming Out Day, and also for the prompt Run. And the words say, I wish I could run and scream. I've broken free, and baby, your eyes deceive you all these years because I've always been a girl. And this kind of represents how she feels that she's a girl. Her actual birth gender assigned to her at birth was male, but she always felt like a girl. She's transgender. She wants to be a girl, but she's still in the closet about it. So she wishes she could run free from the closet. However, she came out of the closet to her friends and to the twerk group, which is why she actually fits for National Coming Out Month, because she's able to come out to her friends, just not to anyone else. To everyone else, she is so in the closet that the closet doesn't even have a key for her to get out of. It. Honestly. And then this is Inktober Day 12, Shattered. For this one, I just drew my OC Hannah and Sophia, and then made the paper look like it's shattered. So the whole paper page just looks like it's been shattered. I actually had this idea before I even looked up what other people were doing for the prompt Shattered, but when I looked up what other people were doing for the prompt Shattered, I actually found out a few people had a similar idea to this, so yeah. Sorry if I'm going quick, you can pause if you want to see these in more depth. Some of them I have more to say than others, but like I said, I've explained these pictures a lot on Instagram and everything, so yeah. This is reiterations at this point. I'm reiterating what I've already said on my Instagram. So, alright, this is Inktober, Day 13, Teaming. And if you don't know, teaming basically just means bustling. Teaming is another word for like a large crowd of people, or a large sum or amount of something. And I took it in the term to mean a large crowd of people. And when I thought of a large crowd of people, I thought of Oakson and how he has anxiety in public. Like, he gets really bad anxiety in public, especially in large crowds. When he's in a large crowd, he will feel like everybody in the large crowd is closing up on him, and they're all just judging him, despite the fact that not a single person in the crowd knows who he is. He feels like they're all crowding around him. He gets like claustrophobic. He feels like they're all judging him. They're all frowning. They all somehow know all his mistakes and are judging him for all of them. Hence the reason you see all the frowny faces in the background. This is supposed to represent the large crowd of people crowding around him and frowning, all unhappy with him. Always stands there nervously, having probably a panic attack, because he does get panic attacks. So probably having a panic attack about that, which is why he can't go into large crowds like fairs or things like that. He does not like to go in large crowds like that. But if it's like a smaller crowd, he's a little bit more okay with it. But even then, sometimes he gets uneasy. It depends on the context. But some smaller crowds he's fine with, depending on the context. But large crowds he cannot do. Like, large crowds would be like fairs, parades, you know. However many people would show up to things like that. That would, like, just give him so much anxiety, he would probably just, like, die. No. And then, this is Inktober, Day 14, Fierce. And I chose to draw my OC Fire Lady Hannah for this. And it says, must I be the fiercer one in this relationship? Because I imagine Hannah and Fire Lady Hannah to kind of be like those people with 2 different personalities. I know there's a name for it, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. But there are those people that have, like, 2 different personalities, and they'll, like, switch from being really sweet and kind and nice to, like, really mean. And it's, like, manic personalities, and there's a disorder name for that. I imagine that's how Hannah is with Fire Lady Hannah. Fire Lady Hannah is, like, the evil, brute, angry, wants to kill everyone version of Hannah. And the only way Hannah's going to learn to control that side of her is with the help of her father Bill, who will teach her how to control her powers better. But Bill doesn't really want to teach her to control her powers quite yet. He's kind of holding off on that, which is bad parenting on his behalf. But he's kind of holding off on that just because he doesn't want Hannah. He doesn't want to have to deal with Fire Lady Hannah. Because the only way he can put Fire Lady Hannah at bay and make her calmer and nicer is to deal with her wants to kill everyone's side first. So, yeah. And then this is Inktober Day 15. The prompt is mysterious. And we just have my OC Sophia reading a Nancy Drew book. The book she's reading is Secrets Can Kill by Nancy Drew. I'm not sure if that's an actual one of the books, but I know that that's an actual Nancy Drew video game. I believe there is one of the books called Secrets Can Kill, but I know that's one of the video games, and it says Nancy Drew, Dare to Read. I drew this mainly because I wanted an excuse to talk about how much I love Nancy Drew. I love Nancy Drew so much. I love Nancy Drew books, even though I haven't read all of them. I love the Nancy Drew books, and I absolutely love the Nancy Drew click and point mystery video games. Like, I am in love with click and point adventure games. You don't even know. I am obsessed with those type of video games. Like, those are my favorite genre of video games ever, and I love Nancy Drew. I especially love Argle Funk, who, I believe that's how you say his username. That's how I always pronounce it. Argle Funk, Nancy Drew dude. He does a lot of Nancy Drew, playthroughs of video games. I'll link his channel in the description, if I can remember to. I absolutely love Nancy Drew. And I was actually posting this on my Instagram, and somebody else talked about how much they love Nancy Drew too, which I was not expecting because I feel like Nancy Drew is one of the smallest fandom groups that is out there these days. Because only like a few small amount of people still really are in the fandom and play the video games and keep up to date. I don't keep up to date necessarily with the Nancy Drew fandom, but I do love it, and I'll just like binge watch Let's Plays of Nancy Drew video games whenever I need something to watch while doing videos and stuff. And then this is Inktober Day 16. The prompt was fat, so I decided to draw my OC Zebby, who I said Patricia was Zebby's friend, so I decided to draw my OC Zebby. And Zebby is on more heavier type characters. She has braces and she's more heavier. She's kind of like a nerdy type character. Almost like Veronica Sawyer's friend from Heathers. I don't remember her name. Martha Dumbtruck. She almost reminds me of Martha Dumbtruck in a lot of ways, despite the fact I created her before I watched Heathers. I always do that. I always have characters that remind me a lot of other fandom characters, but I made that character before I knew about the fandom character, so... But, I ship Zebby with my OC Nathan, who is Olkson's best friend in the twerk group. And Nathan kind of is iffy. Part of Nathan does love Zebby, but another part of Nathan's just like, no, Zebby's kind of annoying, and like, he's on the edge about saying that he loves Zebby back, and making this like a full relationship. He's on the edge about that. But Zebby really loves Nathan. Zebby really wants this to be a thing. It kind of already is a thing, but to Nathan, there's still a little part of that relationship that's not there, that he needs to figure out if he really wants this or not, you know. But I mean, they went to prom together and a bunch of other stuff, so kind of, but not really. Alright, so then this is Inktober Day 17, Gracefully, Bill and Beatrice are walking down the aisle on their wedding day, even though I know technically the bride and the groom do not walk down the aisle together. I know they don't do that, but for this drawing, I decided to draw them walking down the aisle together anyway. Because why not? It'd be cute. And if you can tell, these little circles here are actually supposed to be people sitting in the altars. Because I imagine that they would have got married in a church, despite the fact that Bill, being a demon, is actually not allowed to believe in any sort of religion. It is against the demon law to believe in a religion. Like, you will get literally slapped and or yelled at or punished for believing in a religion. Despite that, he kind of went against that law to get married to Beatrice in a church, because Beatrice is Catholic, so yeah. Then again, he already went against the law about marrying humans, so why not? Then this is Inktober Day 18. The prompt was filthy. And so on the background it says, Filthy Boy, Filthy Mind. I told myself I wasn't going to draw Nick for this prompt, but I drew Nick for this prompt anyway, because I thought that I didn't do enough Nick. I didn't include Nick enough for this, considering the amount of times I included Olsen. So for this one, we just have Nick, and he has a pretty filthy mind. His internet history will tell you that he has a pretty dirty mind. And if only Olsen wasn't panromantic, then you would know how dirty his mind is. But because Olsen is panromantic, he kind of has to play child block a lot of the time, because Olsen does not like sexual things and all that. But Nick really does. But Nick loves Olsen enough to still keep staying with him, despite the fact that Olsen won't do him. But let me tell you, his internet history really tells you what he wants. This is Inktober, day 19, Cloud. My art teacher really loved this drawing a lot. And I mean, I really like it too, but not as much as my art teacher praised it. Yeah, some of these drawings got more praise than I think they deserved, but that's beyond me. I was really happy that she really liked this drawing. I just drew my OC Ron sitting on a moon, and he's like fishing in the clouds. This is supposed to be a takeoff of the DreamWorks symbol, or the DreamWorks, symbol at the start of every movie where the little boy is fishing on the moon. I did that, but I made the little boy Ron, so it's like a parody or takeoff of that. A parody or takeoff of that. And yeah, and I did this all with inks, not with watercolor. I just used inks and I watered them down, so yeah. And I colored everything but Ron to draw emphasis to Ron. And my friend really liked this one. My friend, I should say my friend came up with a meme that we do a parody of DreamWorks where everything's the same, but every movie starts with Ron. Sharon, How to Train Your Ron, so on and so on. And I thought that was a funny thing to include here. Alright, so this is Inktober, day 20, Deep Chop Chop. My idea here is that Crocus cut into his sushi a little too deeply and ended up cutting off his own hand. I feel like this is something that somebody would make up a ghost story about Crocus. Like some little kid or some worker that he worked with would jokingly make up a ghost story that he cut off his own finger while working. And that story would start to spread around the demon realm. People would start to believe it, but in reality, Crocus never cut off his finger. Crocus still has all his fingers. It's just some rumor people started to tell about Crocus. Considering the fact that he's one of the best workers at the sushi restaurant that he works at, so he's kind of well known to people who go into the sushi restaurant. So there's that. No. I'm sorry, this paper keeps falling out. This is Inktober, day 21, Furious, and it says, I already gave birth to a gay son and get salt from my family every day, so I would shut your trap if I were you before I make you shut it. And this is just supposed to be Nick's mom screaming at some random pedestrian who's giving her a little bit of shit on the street. Well, and yeah, so this is just Nick's mom screaming about that. And basically the words, or what she's screaming about, basically sums up and or captions the whole drawing. So yeah, I'm very sorry my voice sounds weird again. I feel like my voice sounds really weird in this video. Alright, so this is Inktober, day 22, and the prompt was trail, so it says, a trail of Beatrice's hair wraps around Bill. And I imagine Beatrice would wrap her hair around Bill as if her hair is like kind of hugging Bill or giving Bill's legs a little bit of a squeeze, just for fun. Originally I was going to draw Bill and Beatrice walking down the woods together, but I thought that was too much like a prompt that I did last year for Inktober, so I didn't do it. Because if you want to see my Inktober drawings from last year, probably in the description I might put that video, I don't know. But you can just go find it on my account, because I always say I'll put the videos in the description or in the eye, but I never do. So if you want to see them, just go find them on my account at this point. Because this is actually the same, I should mention, this is actually the same sketchbook that I did last year for Inktober. So all my Inktober drawings from last year are actually in this sketchbook as well. However, the reason this sketchbook might look different is because the covers actually fell off the sketchbook because the binding is kind of breaking from the sketchbook, considering the fact I've had it for like 2 years. And some of the drawings in the sketchbook are starting to come out because I've had it for like a year or two. Alright, so then this is Inktober day 23, Juicy. For Juicy, I wanted to illustrate my OC Olsen again in like a really cute little dress, and he's like sucking on a juice box, and he's wearing like a little fruity headband with a bunch of fruit around him. Because when I think of Juicy, I think of fruit, because juicy is a word commonly used to describe fruit. Like, you know, your mom or your dad or somebody might be like, oh, this fruit is very juicy. Like, my mom always says that to me. I don't know, but she always goes, this is very juicy. Come on, eat this fruit. It's very juicy. And I'm like, no, Mom, I don't want fruit right now. She always says that to me, so that's why I thought of fruit where I thought juicy. And I illustrated Olsen for fruit because Olsen likes fruity things. That is like his favorite type of stuff. Like, he likes fruit flavored candy, and he really likes fruit. Anything like fruity flavored he really likes, so that's why he fits in for fruit. I illustrated Olsen a lot. This one I illustrated Olsen back to back. So we have another Olsen prompt, and this is for Inktober day 24, blind. I decided to illustrate Olsen without his glasses on because Olsen is blind without his glasses on. So blind, in fact, that he is walking up to this trash can right here, and he thinks that this trash can is Nick because he's like squinting and he's looking at the trash can, and to him, to his eyes, without his glasses on, this trash can looks like his boyfriend Nick. And I said that to my friend. I'm like, oh, this trash can to Olsen looks like his boyfriend Nick, you know? He thinks that this is his boyfriend Nick. And then I just went, but I guess he's not far off because Nick is pretty much thick and trash. And my friend didn't laugh at all. I wonder why. That was a terrible joke, but that's my joke and I'm sticking with it. And also, this is what I imagine Nick's Olsen's school hallway would look like. And yeah, all the demons go to the same, all the torts go to the same demon school, by the way. So yeah, this is also based off of my own school hallway, so yeah. And then this is Inktober day 25, and it says, I'm not the damsel in distress, I'm not your girlfriend or the frightened princess, I'm not the little bird that needs your help to fly, nope, I'm the bad guy. And this drawing basically is self-explanatory. Just imagine Lavender singing that to Ben and then stabbing Ben in the neck, and that's basically what she did in this drawing. Also, the words in this drawing are actually lyrics from the song I'm the Bad Guy, which was Sing and Wander Over Yonder. And if you listen to that song, I headcanonly imagine that song being with Lavender. I can like headcanonly see Lavender singing that song. So yeah. And then this is Inktober day 26. The prompt was squeak, and so I decided to illustrate my OC Nick's pet dog. He has a three-headed demon dog, and his three-headed demon dog has a little squeak toy right here, which is this little ball, and he's like squeaking the little ball, waiting for his master Nick to play ball with him, you know. And then actually this is the drawing that keeps falling out. This is for Inktober day 27. The prompt for day 27 was climb, so I just illustrated my OC Derek climbing up a rock climbing wall. Derek is another one of my demon OCs. I imagine the demon realm would not have mountains for demons to climb up because the land is very flat, or the agriculture of the land is very flat. So I imagine that if somebody wanted to participate in the sport of rock climbing, they would have to go find one of the very few rock climbing walls built in the realm to climb rocks. And then we have Inktober day 28, and the prompt is fell. So it says, I fell so far the moment I cheated on you, Mike. Please forgive me. Please, Mike. Please. Don't go. And yeah, for this one, I just decided to illustrate my OC, Jessica falling, because Jessica actually cheated on her boyfriend Mike for the bitch Jacob, who she cheated on Mike for twice. So that's basically what she's doing. And she's falling because she cheated on Mike twice, and Mike is crying. This is kind of supposed to be like her mind, how she sees things happening in her mind. She sees Jacob as like a devil type character, someone who she doesn't like, who she's angry at, and she's angry that she cheated on him. So he's illustrated as like a devil type character with a little mustache. And she sees Mike as like someone she hurt really badly. So he's illustrated in her mind as someone who is crying a lot because she really feels like she hurt him and she really regrets doing that. And then this is Inktober Day 29. The prompt was United, and it says, the Maritines are a family united by love, joy, and happiness. For this prompt, I decided to draw the Maritines and their family. The Maritines is basically Olsen and Nick and their 2 children that they're going to adopt in the future. The reason they're the Maritines is because Olsen's last name is Maritine, and I feel like when Nick gets married to Olsen, he's going to take Olsen's last name, and he's going to become a Maritine as well, rather than Olsen taking Nick's last name. Because that's how it works when 2 guys get married. One of them just chooses which last name they want to take, and then, you know, they become that. Apparently, looking it up, that's how it works. So, yeah, but not always do 2 guys who get married change their last name. It's optional. Way more optional for 2 guys to do that. And they're going to adopt 2 kids. The girl's name is going to be Elizabeth, and the boy's name is going to be Andrew. And one of them, I don't know which one, but one of them, when they're teenagers, will discover that they're bi. I don't know which one yet. You all in the comments can, like, make up a whole story for them, because that's all I could come up with for the kids. But I'd really like to see somebody help me make a story for the kids, because I think that would be cute if, like, you fans help me with that. And then this is Inktober Day 30, and the prompt was found. So I drew a lost and found. And in the lost and found, we have my OC Ron scarf. Oh no, I guess my OC Ron lost his scarf. Yeah. I like to illustrate Ron losing his scarf a lot as like a little cutesy thing to illustrate. And then finally, we have Inktober Day 31 mask. This is the only prompt where I use my alcohol markers because I really want to practice drawing with just inks. So for this prompt, I thought this is the last prompt of Inktober, so I'm going to break out of Inktober by using my alcohol markers. Even though I didn't want to use them at all for these prompts, I thought for the last day I would do it just to break out of Inktober. Because I knew that after I did Inktober, I'd be doing a lot of marker and digital pieces, so I need some practice with my markers for that. The prompt was mask, so I just illustrated my OC Beatrice in a little masquerade mask, because I really like drawing my OC Beatrice in masquerade and Italian or Italy masks. I really like drawing that, because they're very detailed and very pretty, and they look very nice on Beatrice, so that's what I did. Also, I find it really funny that the last prompt is Beatrice, and for this year, for Inktober, I started with Beatrice. So it starts with Beatrice, and it ends with Beatrice. So it's just kind of like that final reunion tie thing. It ties it all together, man. Alright, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I know that my last video had a little thumbnail, a custom thumbnail on it. I probably won't do a custom thumbnail for this video. I'll do custom thumbnails for some of my videos, but not all of them. So yeah. Alright, so again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And bye guys!